Well, welcome to the morning of day 2. Neither one of us slept last night because, well, for me, I almost never have caffeine. I very rarely have anything with caffeine in it. And we got a Starbucks. We got a latte. And then when we went to the Italian specialty restaurant last night, the bartender, who was very nice, found out that I used to like Turkish coffee back when I drank tons of coffee. And he made us this specialty drink that was several shots of espresso, Kahlua, brandy, and a lot of whipped cream. So needless to say, I fell asleep last night fine, which I was shocked, but at 3 o'clock in the morning I woke up and I finally fell back asleep, and then Kat woke me up. It's like, it's time to get up, hurry up, even though she didn't sleep either. But anyhow, time to get up, go to breakfast or something. Well, we're on our way to breakfast. We're going to the Windjammer, which is their buffet. We haven't actually even seen it yet because it was too cold yesterday to get to it. We'll see. The food in the Windjammer is pretty good. Breakfast is pretty much the same every day. Lunch does vary, and dinner is different each day. We decided after breakfast to go down to the Royal Promenade. It's one of the best times that you can go exploring in that area, due to the fact that most people stay up late on the first night of their cruise. So there was very few people down in the Royal Promenade. This is the Rising Tide Bar, which actually goes from deck 5 all the way up to deck 8, the Central Park. I decided it was time to go down to next cruise and actually put my name on the appointment book. We came to the shopping, what's it called? The Port and Shopping Show, which is basically all these stores have a thing where they pay Royal Caribbean money to become the official stores, and you come and they give you maps and tell you where to go so that you can spend your money when you go into port. Well, there is no place for them to hold this other than the ice skating rink, and it is so cold in here that Kat made it like, I don't know, a foot in the door and turned around and said, I'm not going in there. So I'm doing this all by myself, and it's really crowded. But yeah, so there's the ice skating rink, and the poor guy that's doing it has to stand on a little piece of carpet on top of the ice. He's gonna freeze. Color changing t-shirts. Who doesn't actually want one of those? After we did a little exploring, it was time to go ride the Carousel. Yes, there is a carousel on the Allure of the Seas. There's a carousel actually on every single ship in the Oasis class fleet.
Saw you paint a picture of a face that wasn't even close to mine. I know I shouldn't be in love, but it's so hard to move on. You haven't changed, you stayed the same. But if you did, I'd still love you anyway.
After going round and round for a while, it's time to get a beer. And then we had to head up to our room to get ready for dinner.
Even though you wouldn't do the same, I'd give you the world like I promised I would.
After dinner, we went to the Rising Tide Bar. We actually rode it from the Royal Promenade all the way up to Central Park, and then we rode it all the way back down again. I have to say, the bartender was quite friendly and made some amazing chocolate martinis. After that, we went to the Amber Theater to watch a variety show. We were actually supposed to see the musical that night, but unfortunately they had to reschedule due to one of the singers being sick.
I've been up till 6 a.m. Wrote 5 songs all just for you.
Well, welcome to the end of day 1, which Royal Caribbean considers day 2. So this is our first day, the entire day on the cruise ship. It's a Monday, not that that matters, but we learned 2 things today, didn't we? We didn't really get a lot of pictures of the cruise ship yet because we spent our entire day
eating.
Yes, eating. We're both so full. Anyway, a couple of things we learned about Royal Caribbean, some good, some bad. So the first thing is, when I was concerned about this, so you pack all your stuff in your suitcase, and you're not allowed to bring or have irons on a cruise ship, at least not in your cabin. And my suit was already wrinkled before I packed it. I knew it was going to be a disaster. So when we got here, you can actually, right when you get on the cruise ship, put all your stuff that you want ironed in a bag, and they iron all of it for you for $17, something like that. And the room steward, I said, when I gave him the bag, I said, tomorrow's formal night, and we are going to a Brazilian steakhouse, which is one of the specialty dining restaurants. We're gonna have this back by then, right? A half an hour before our dinner time, we still didn't get it back yet. I had to make quite a few phone calls before we got it back. And we rushed, and we both dressed, and we got all nice, and we get to the Brazilian steakhouse because it's formal night and you're supposed to have a suit and tie or a tuxedo. I guess it's just an or, not an and. Yeah, we go into the Brazilian steakhouse, and this lady walks in with jeans and a t-shirt on, and that just started the parade. We were by far the nicest dressed couple in the entire restaurant. So if you ever go on Royal Caribbean and they tell you that there's a mandatory dress code, they're full of it, because no one in the restaurants or anywhere else followed the dress code. Now, there were a lot of people that dressed up, there's absolutely, but in our restaurant, probably only 1/5 of the people that were in there actually were following the dress code that they set for us. So it didn't really matter. But other than that, we had a good day, right?
Very filling.
Yeah, very filling. Day 3, time to go get some coffee. Beautiful day out. Gonna get a bunch of videos today, so I should say decaf coffee so I can actually sleep. The plan for day 3 was to try to get on some of the attractions on the ship. And I started off by going down to the rock climbing walls, but first thing I had to do was show everyone where our balcony is. And it's right there. Because Kat and I actually paid for the Royal Caribbean VIP program, the Key, we were able to get on all of these attractions with absolutely no wait. They had special time set aside for all the Key people. So I walked right up to the rock climbing wall. The line consisted of me putting my harness on and then climbing. And when I got back down, there was no one there, and he's like, "Do you want to climb again?" And I said, "No, that's enough for today." And they actually have 2 walls. They have one on the port side and one on the starboard side. After that, it was time to do some zip lining. The zip line goes from deck 16 down to deck 15 over the top of the boardwalk. Was it the most exciting zip line ever? No, but it was still a lot of fun. Then we went and played mini golf, and mini golf was interesting because the balls were not real golf balls, and they were very light, and the wind was so strong that it was blowing the balls all over the place. It was time to go to Johnny Rockets for some milkshakes. After that, we went and explored the solarium. The solarium is an adults only area. For dinner, we went to Izumi Hibachi. So Izumi is a added cost restaurant, and they have two sections on Allure of the Seas. They have the hibachi, and then they have sit-down dining, which is like your sushis and ramen and so on. It was a good show. They're not allowed to use any fire at all, so there was no flaming volcanoes or anything. The food was good. In my opinion, and Kat's, it was pretty overpriced. That's not to say that our chef didn't do a great job. He did. He was very entertaining, but the amount of money extra they charged for the hibachi, in our opinion, wasn't worth it. You could easily do the same thing on land for quite a bit less. Maybe that's just where we live. I don't know, but that's been our experience anyway. All in all, it was a fantastic night. Food was great, the entertainment was great, and the mochi was fantastic. After that, we went to see the comedians. There's, a warm-up act and the main comedian. He was very funny.
Okay, end of day 3. But anyway, so we did the day at sea, kind of, and getting on the ship, which is day 1, and then 2 days at sea. So we condensed all that into one video because there's how much can you watch? I actually enjoy the downtime. She was bored out of her mind. So anyhow, that was this one video, and the next video is going to be us in Roatan. We have a private tour that we're doing. But anyhow, looking forward to tomorrow. Got to get some sleep, got to get up early. I want to do some videoing more around the ship, and then we have to go shopping before we get on our excursion. So guess that's it for now.
Yeah.
All those ships, look at, we're hitting big waves.